Shalom. I like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to my Akim, who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds, who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as they were the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. This is a worthy Akali from the JMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is about prophecy and the times that we're in, which we are clearly at the end of days. Okay, let me get my first precept to kick it off. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And the end it's referring to is the end of this age, which is the age of the rulership of the Edomites, who are these so-called white people. This is their kingdom today, and it's a kingdom of wickedness. All right. Now, verse 3, let's focus in on that. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, we're seeing these things. You know, the earthquakes, that's regular, right? People see that as a regular thing at this point. The uproars of the people in the world, that's common as well now. All right, last year I remember RT wanted to name the year 2020 the year of protests, because there were so many protests happening worldwide. All right, but this is a sign of the end, and we're extremely close to the end of this wicked vile kingdom, man. Yahushua is getting ready to return, and yo, man, you people that believe, you Israelites, you know, you hold on to the faith, man. All right, and just keep enduring, because we're very close. Now let's look at what's going on. So recently there has been a situation that has occurred in regards to some steps being taken by the elite of Esau Edom. All right, we know that they're pushing through with their NWO agenda, and at the forefront of that is their microchip. And you know, the microchip is the mark of the beast, and what we're seeing is the road towards that. And with that has come their beginning stages, okay, which we're in, which I'd say that they went full swing. They've been working on it, but it really starts to go full swing in an undeniable way last year. And y'all know what that is, okay? But now we're at a point where the solution to the problem is being offered onto the people of this world, and Salakio, the people of this world don't want it. All right, a vast majority of the people don't want it. So now they're protesting. Okay. Protests erupt in third Caribbean country. It says protests have spread to a third Caribbean country, with the police being forced to use tear gas to disperse demonstrators in Antigua and Barbuda's capital, St. John's. All right, and they're protesting for, you can see it right there. All right. All right, so more protests in St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Barbados. No protests out here in Jamaica as yet, but you know, the Most I know, man, and we know through the Spirit that once Jamaica kicks off, yo, man, the Benjamin out here, bro, dark, okay, dark, black as well, okay, and you need to look up the real definition of black before becoming offended by the words that I speak. All right, look up the definition of it, man. All right, and these people are black and they're dark. All right, and I'm not referring to skin color. Okay, so yeah, man, Jamaica hasn't started as yet, but once it starts, I don't think it will be able to end. All right, given the spirits out here. But anyway, that's out here in the Caribbean. Then you have the from RT in the UK, All right, so there are protesters out there, all right, clashing with the police because of, y'all see it. I can't even say it because they just gonna strike the video, you know what I'm saying? And then you have France as well. So France continues with the agenda despite weekend of mass protests. So there are protests in Europe, protests in the Caribbean, and it's worldwide, man. All right, just search it. It's worldwide. It's not like every single place is protesting at the same time, but they're protesting, man. Different parts of the world at different times, different days, etc. It's happening. So it shows us that we're at the end. And also, I just want to bring this out. Okay. Because I mentioned that the wicked is in rulership, so let's bring it out since we're on the topic of protests. This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And the people are mourning, man. That's why they're protesting. So the wicked are in rulership, and it's clear to see that the so-called white man is in rulership, man. The Edomites, okay? If you're denying that in 2021, then I don't know, bro. I don't know. Because you don't even have to be in the truth to be able to evaluate that. That's just common sense. That's just an evaluation of the times. You know what I'm saying? It's clear to see. All right. Salakia for that in the background. All right. So as you can see, man, the protests are going on, and then there's something else that I wanted to bring out. I took this picture. One of the brothers posted it. They can't arrest all of us. Rand Paul critics meltdown as he encourages people to defy CDC and drunk on Power Pelosi. Now, one thing that I realized with this situation is that I'm watching Esau's mainstream media because, you know, I don't watch it like that, but I do watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because just to see what's going on for the day, you know what I'm saying? What kind of moves they're making, you know, Yeah, you have to be a watchman. The scriptures say you have to be a watchman of Yahweh Shemeshai. All right. So I've been watching it, and what I've been realizing is that, you know, they have their number of individuals who have taken the solution, and it was at about 50%, and I found it very interesting that it was at about 50%. Now, their numbers can be real or not, who knows? It's the devil we're dealing with, right? And everything is all smoke and mirrors and magic and sorcery and all these things on the left-hand side. But when I looked at it, I saw 50%, and then I looked at what's going on in the moves that they're making, and first of all, this devil really is coming in hot and heavy. He's coming in hot and heavy, and this is it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay. When I looked at that 50%, I'm like, this makes sense, yo, for this narrative that they're pushing right now of division. All right, they are clearly separating the people. So I remember I watched a video earlier today. A brother mentioned that there's this new kind of racism that's happening, and it's not and I get what he's saying. You know, you have racism, you have classism. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of those new isms to separate people, and this division, where you see the people are protesting, you have the people that are at home who have agreed to the solution that are like, yo, they are on the other end. So you have this separation that's happening. And then when you have Rand Paul talking about how he encourages people to defy CDC and drunk on Power Pelosi, this is Esau Edom continuing to divide the people. Because, yo, man, they intend to bring about their NWO order out of chaos. So they want this chaos. They want the people to be fighting against each other. And that's a part of biblical prophecy, man. It's going to be happening. This is 2 Ezra 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you see, people are going to be fighting against one another, man. And it's going to be all kinds of different groups. It can be, you know, however, man. People are going to be fighting for their differences. And eventually it's going to get to the point where it's not going to be about differences. It's going to be about survival, because the famine is coming and all of these things. The judgments of Yahweh Shemeshai, which up here, it lets you know, in verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I'll bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Right? So let's jump on back down to verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invaded one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Right? So the other day, one of the prime ministers out here in the Caribbean got his face hit. You know what I'm saying? He got hit in the face by a rock. All right? By the public, by the people in that country. All right, so the people are not regarding their kings nor princes. So even in this UK, article regarding the UK, they're storming the BBC. Now, why would they storm the BBC? Because they know that it's a main news central. It's the main news central of the UK. So it is deemed as like some kind of important place, somewhere that they can feel like their voice will be heard if they go to the same place that is pushing out the news. All right, but you know, it's happening, and they're willingly going against the police and whatever, man. But it's going to get much worse. All of these things are going to get much worse. You know, we are at only the beginning of Jacob's trouble. All right, truly. Okay, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's martial law, which is coming as well. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, and man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So, as I said, first it's going to be like people and their differences. They're for this and they're for that and whatever else, and eventually it's going to get so bad out here that it's going to be every man for himself. Okay, especially because of this famine. And it's just going to be pandemonium and chaos out in the streets, man. And it's coming. All of it is engineered. The riots, the famine, all of it engineered. It's all done by Yahweh Shemeshai, and Yahweh Shemeshai is using Esau Edom to bring about the judgment upon the Lord's people, right? Esau is the Most High sword and has been that sword upon us for a very long time. And so the Most High is using Esau as that sword against us, right? And Esau is doing all of these awful, abominable, vile things onto us. But guess what? We know through the scriptures that Esau Edom is going into captivity with the rest of the heathen. So it's like, you can look at it this way. The Most High is using Esau as that sword, but then the Most High is going to judge Esau for all of those things that Esau has done. You see? You see that? All right. So that's just how things go, man. All right. But overall, sign of the times. The end of days, we're very close. I mean, every day it's hot. Okay. And there are all kinds of things happening in the spirit as well. So it's important for us to do our best. Okay. So that I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodesh, Wa Abad Babal Shalom.